everyone. Hello, thank you for joining me today on this segment. I'll be teaching you on how to calculate your ovulation cycle and get pregnant. We started this series some time ago, and we've been able to track so many ovulation cycles for real women trying to conceive. What we do here is to calculate your ovulation cycle and predict it, letting you know when best you will likely fall pregnant. So today we are going to be doing just the same thing, and so I'll be starting with Mrs. Mercury. So to explain further how we get these menstrual cycles, all you need to do if you want to become part of this is to send us 4 menstrual cycles for starting maybe from May, June, July, and August. If you had your menses come for September, you can do the same to have when you had your menses for September. So thank you for joining me today. We're going to be having a beautiful time predicting and calculating your ovulation cycle and your ovulation day. Yes, you're going to get to know when you'll be ovulating, and of course possibly use that day to have sex, and you're likely going to fall pregnant. God be on your side. So let's just begin. So like I said, we're going to be starting with Mrs. Mercury. Yes, I think I pronounced that well. Mrs. Mercury. So she sent her menstrual cycles, and we have for May, June, July, and August. So for May, we are calculating for Mrs. Mercury. Yeah, that is it. So for May, we have 25th. For June, we have 28th. For July, we have 30th, and then for August we have 27th. So for Mrs. Mercury, our menstrual cycle for May was 25th, June 28th, July 30th, and August 27th. So to begin with, we are going to look at our menstrual cycle length. That's the first thing you're going to look at. You're going to calculate your menstrual cycle length, and we have this will give us one. We said that the average menstrual cycle length is based on 3 cycles, and so we are beginning with this. So we'll have here one, we'll have here another, and here will give us another. So let's begin. What you need to do here is to look at 25th to 28th. How many days did it take Mrs. Mercury to have a menses come? So that's what we need to do. Follow me. You go to your calendar, and then you go to May. We are beginning from May 25th. So yes, May 25th was on a Tuesday. So for this woman, her menses came on May 25th. I want to know how long did it take for her to see the menses again in June 28th. That is just what we want to look at. So now, beginning from that day, 24 hours make 1 day, of course. So we are going to count it by 7. 7 days make 1 week. Okay, so 25th to 1st of May, 1st of June, we give us 7 days, which is 1 week. So I just go with that. Another 1 week, that is 14th. 21, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. So from this day, May 25th to June 28th, it took Mrs. Mercury 34 days to have a menses. So now for the following cycle, we are going to do just the same. How many days did it take Mrs. Mercury to have a menses come on this date, which is July 30th? So did you get that? So we're going to calculate look at June 28th into July 30th. How many days did it take Mrs. Mercury to have her menses? So we are still looking at our calendar. Remember, we are trying to look at Mrs. Mercury's menstrual cycle length. We are looking at Mrs. Mercury's menstrual cycle length. So this is what we are looking at. So now from July 28th, that was on a Wednesday. So we'll count from there into July 30th. From June 28th. So let's go. 5th July will give us 7 days. Okay. 12th will give us 14 days. 21, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32 days. So from this day, June 28th, into July 30th, it took Mrs. Mercury 32 days to have her menses. Okay, like she's 30 days interval cycle. So let's move on. Let's just see how this is going to look like. You know, until you are done, you won't know how it's going to look like. So now let's continue with 30th July into 27th of August. So 30th July was on a Sunday. 6th August was 7 days. 14, 21, 28. Okay, this one became 28 days. So now we've been able to calculate, to look at Mrs. Mercury's menstrual cycle length, and we have 34. We have 34 days. Menstrual cycle length is equals to 34 days, right? Then we have 32 days, and then we have 28 days. Did you say that? See that? So now, so calculate our average menstrual cycle length, which will help us to know the very day, the exact day Mrs. Mercury is going to be ovulating. We need to have an average of this. So that is why we are using this method, which is average menstrual cycle length. So this approach is based on 3 menstrual cycles. You see that? So this method is based on 3 menstrual cycles, and we have already done that. That was why we calculated these dates to get our menstrual cycle. So if you look at it closely, you're going to observe that she had, for the previous months, she had 34 days, 32 days, and 28 days. Most women are not comfortable once they have their menses come and it's not on the 28th day, maybe it's on the 29th, or especially when it's beginning to count into 30th. Most women are not comfortable, but with the average menstrual cycle length approach, irrespective of your menstrual cycle length, you will be able to know when you will be ovulating. This is the beautiful thing about this approach, and it is very, very accurate. So with this, we are now going to look at when Mrs. Mercury will be ovulating. So if you look at the menstrual cycle length, you may not really be comfortable with it, but with this approach, we will get to where we want to get to. So follow me, just follow me. Now I'm going to have 34 days plus 32 days plus 28 days. Remember, we're looking at the average of this over 3. So now we'll just go to our calculator. I will always say use your calculator because you want to be very, very, very exact. If you are not exact, it simply means you are going to miss your ovulation day. So that is why you have to be very, very accurate. And your calculator will help you with that. So now I'm going to have 34 plus 32 plus 28. So we have 94 over 3. Did you see that? 94 over 3. So that the next thing we're going to do here is to now look at what is the average of these, and that will give us our AMCL, will give us 31 days. So isn't this beautiful? So with this method, we've been able to now get to know what is Mrs. Amakiri's average menstrual cycle length. So with this, we will now look at when she'll be ovulating. So the next thing we're going to do here is to look at our ovulation day. We're going to look at our ovulation day. That's the next thing we're going to do there, and we are using the baseline of 14 days. So look at our ovulation day. We are using the baseline of 14 days, and that means ovulation before the next period begins. So that will just give us, we're actually subtracting the baseline, which is 14 days, to get our ovulation day. So 31 minus 14 is going to give us, use your calculator, please use your calculator to get it, to get an exact day. Use your calculator. So we have 17 days. So this simply means 17 days into our next cycle. So let's look at what day in real time, what day this day is going to be. So next thing we're going to do is to go back to our calendar. Now that we've calculated the ovulation day, we'll go to our calendar to know when exactly this is going to be. Our last meeting was on the 27th, so come with me. This is 1, 2, that is 14, 15, 16, 17. So Mrs. Amakiri's ovulation day is 13th September. Wow. So, madam, if you are watching me and we've gone through this together, your ovulation day is September 13th. Wow, 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 wow. And that is going to be on Wednesday. That's going to be on Wednesday, on a Wednesday, September 13th. So congratulations to you. Of course, you know what to do with this day. You know what to do with this day. Now you know that you're going to be ovulating on this day. It's expected that you utilize this day. You utilize this day, you get the best out of this day. And beautifully, your fertile window will be 3 days preceding this day. So which means your fertile window is going to be on the 10th, 11th, 12th into 13th. So you have that length, 12th from 10th, 11th, 12th into 13th to have more sex. More sex is equal to increased chances of falling pregnant. That is what it is. So you should have more sex this period so you can possibly fall pregnant. And I hope you are supporting your fertility, you're supporting your ovulation. There's just no other way to do this. If you are having issues falling pregnant, all you need to do is to support your ovulation and overall fertility What does this mean to support your ovulation? It simply means that you should be getting or you should be taking fertility enhancing blends. You should be taking fertility enhancing blends or ovulation enhancing blends that will help you ovulate properly, to give you that fertile cervical mucus, something that can do that. And beautifully, we have female harmony. We have beautiful products on our website that will help enhance your ovulation and fertility. You can check out fertile24.com to get these products. They are very, very potent and effective. So congratulations once again to you, Mrs. Amakiri. So we'll be going to another real case to analyze our ovulation and see when possibly this woman will be ovulating. So I'm just going to take this off. I'm just going to okay, so let's continue. We are doing this to help more women to get to know when they'll be ovulating and fall pregnant. If you have not been following us on this series, you have to follow our Facebook page, 3024 Abbas, so you know when next will be coming live to help calculate your ovulation and let you know when you possibly be ovulating. Okay, so you can join us wherever you are, all around the world. You can join us, and to do that, all you need to do is to follow our Facebook page, 3024 Harvard. So next on my list, I'll be looking at Mrs. Osas. We'll be looking at Mrs. Osas' menstrual cycle length. Okay. So for May, it was 25th. For June, it was 28th. July was 30th. And August was 25th. Okay. Did I get this here? 25th. Okay, so we are looking at Mrs. Osas' menstrual cycle length. So the first thing we want to do here is to look at our menstrual cycle length. So from this day, from May 25th into June 28th, we want to look at how long it took Mrs. Osas to have a menstrual in this month, and then in July, and also in August. That is simply what we want to do. So come with me, go to your calendar. We are going to look at 25th into 28th. So we are going to May. I hope I'm not too fast today. Okay. We are going to May. May 25th was on a Thursday. Okay. So 25th into June 1st was 1 week. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. Okay, so it took Mrs. Osas 34 days to have our menses come on this day. Okay, so we'll do the same thing. We want to see what's going to be the next how many days it took her to have her next menses. So from 28, we are going to look at the number of days it took her to this date, which is 30th. So now you just come with me from 28 June into July. So 5th was 1 week, 14, 21, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. 32. Okay, this cycle is almost like Mrs. Amaki's cycle, 32 days. So you see, you have so many women menstruating on the same day. So for Mrs. Osas, if you had your menses this same way, you had your menses come this same way, it's the same thing. So we have 1 million millions of Mrs. Osas out there. If it's exactly this date you had your menses, it is just the same thing. You are going to be ovulating on the same day with Mrs. Osas, right? So when you are ovulating or when you are menstruating, you are not the only one menstruating on that day. In fact, that very time your menses came, millions of women had their menses come that same time. That is what it is. So we have millions of Mrs. Osas out there. We are just using one beautiful stone to catch so many beautiful babes. That's what we do when we come on this show live. That is just what we do. So if your dates fell into this particular date, it is the same with you. You are the Mrs. Osas. Okay, so she had for this date it was 32 days. So now we want to see for this day, for this period, how long did it take Mrs. Osas to have her menses? So July 30th into August 25th. Let's look at that. July 30th into August 25th. Okay. So 6 was 7 days. 6 was 7 days. July 30th. 6, 14, 21. Okay. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So it took Mrs. Osas 26 days to have her menses. You can see that. So now we've been able to look at the menstrual cycle length of Mrs. Osas to be 34 days, 32 days, and 26 days. Next, we are going to be looking at our average menstrual cycle length. And I've told you, I said this approach is very, very accurate to know when you possibly be ovulating. It is very, very, in fact, it is 100, I tell you, it is 100%, 100% accurate. Yeah. Because irrespective of how you're having your menses, irrespective of your menstrual cycles, you're still going to be able to calculate and get your ovulation day right. Okay, so now we're going to look at our average. The next thing we're looking at Mrs. Osas' average menstrual cycle length. Right? So that we have 34 days plus 32 days plus 26 days. Okay, and of course it's the average, then we just have over 3. Right? So what we did today, put this together, what should this give us? Let's look at our calculator. I will always say use your calculator because you want to be accurate. You don't want to miss it. So use your calculator. we have 34 plus 32 plus 20. Okay, is it 26? 26. So now here we have 92 over 3. So what will this give us? 92 over 3. We have 30.6. And we're just going to take this into the nearest figure. That will give us 31 days. Remember the simple mathematics, right? So it's going to give us 31 days. That means Mrs. Osa's average menstrual cycle length is 31 days. Okay, so next we are going to be looking at Mrs. Osa's ovulation day. So when is our ovulation day? And I said with this you're going to use the simple baseline, which is 14 days. So this will simply means 31 minus 14, and that will give us 31 minus 14 will give us 17 days. So it simply means 17 days into the next cycle. So let's see what this day will be for Mrs. Osas. Let's see what this day is going to be. When is this day? So come with me. Just come with me. Our last menses was 25th. The first one, Mrs. Amaki's next cycle we're looking at was also even 17 days. To take out 17 days to ovulate. And in this case, even though they are similar dates, right? Okay, I think this is the difference. They have similar days. This is the difference. But you see, there's a difference, but they still had the same 17 days into their next menstrual cycle. You see how accurate this method can be. So we're going to look at what this day will be. What will this day will be? So our last menses was August 25th. We're going to look at 7, 14, 15, 16, 17. You see, so it's not the same day for her. Our ovulation day is 14, 15, 16, 17. That's on a Monday, September 11th. Wow. On a Monday. Oh, that is next Monday. Wow. So Mrs. Osas, your ovulation day is next Monday. Congratulations to you. Of course, you know what to do if you're trying to conceive. Congratulations to you. You have to utilize this day. Make the best out of this day. Congratulations to you. We'll be waiting to hear your testimony. Oh, yeah, I'm pregnant. Oh, I just can't wait to hear that kind of news. Oh, I'm pregnant. Wow. I'm waiting. Congratulations to you. You will be ovulating on Monday. And of course, 3 days preceding this day, you will become fertile. And do you know sperm can survive in the fallopian tubes for up to 5 days? Yeah, so those 5 days are your fertile window. So for this woman, for Mrs. Oksat, her fertile window will begin from, let's say, 8, 9, 10, 11, or on the 7th. Isn't that beautiful? So you have 5 days to try to get pregnant in this cycle. So use it, get the best out of it. Congratulations to you. And the easiest way for you to get pregnant is to support your fertility, especially when you've been struggling with infertility. Don't just stay there and hoping that something will happen. You make something to happen. That is it. make something to happen. And how do you go about this? It simply means you need to support your fertility, you need to support your ovulation for you to easily get pregnant. Yes, you need to support your fertility to easily get pregnant. So if you're not doing anything to your system, to your reproductive health, and you are struggling to conceive, you are indirectly lengthening the number of days, number of months, number of years that you will struggle to conceive. This is the truth. Nobody may tell you. But if you want to shorten the number of periods you try to conceive, then you have to support your fertility. And this simply means you have to take fertility supporting blends to help restore your fertility, so you'll be super fertile and it will become easy for you to get pregnant. So congratulations to Mrs. Osat and all the Mrs. Osat worldwide, in Port Harcourt, in Benney. Mrs. Osat is from Benney, and all the Mrs. Osat everywhere. If you had your menses on these days, if you have similar days with her, your menses came on these days, is the same thing. You will be ovulating on Monday. Congratulations to you all. Congratulations to you all. And to join us on this series, all you need to do is to send us your 4 menstrual dates for the 4th, from beginning from May, June, July, August. But if you have your menses come this month, September, you can begin from June, July, August, and September. So we'll be doing the same to you. We'll be looking at your ovulation day and letting you know when you'll be ovulating. So thank you for joining us again. So we're going to be looking at another repacing, another cycle. So let's just get going. Okay, we're going to be looking at another analysis of another pretty woman. But before we do that, we'll be going on a break right now. And when we come back, we'll be looking at another analysis. Thanks for joining me.
We touch, we break, make it seem like we feel the same. We love what we hate. We lie, but we know we can't water what doesn't grow. Give up, let it go. But we fell apart just in time. We break, make it seem like we feel the same. We love what we hate. We lie, but we know we can't water what doesn't grow. Give up, let it go. But we fell apart just in time. We break, make it seem like we feel the same. We love what we hate. We lie, but we know we can't water what doesn't grow. Give up, let it go. But we fell apart just in time. We break, make it seem like we feel the same. We love fell apart just in time. We touch, we break, make it seem like we feel the same. We love what we hate. We lie, but we know we can't water what doesn't grow. Give up, let it go. But we fell apart just in time. We touch, we break, make it seem like we feel.
Hello, thank you. We are back. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so like I said, that when we come back from the break, we're going to be taking another reanalysis of a pretty woman, Mrs. Francis. So we have Mrs. Francis next on my list, and all other Mrs. Francis. If your dates, menstrual dates, fell into these dates, it is just the same. So for Mrs. Francis, I'm going to be stating when she had her menses. Mrs. Francis, if you are there, we are taking and looking at your menstrual cycle. Okay. So she had her menses for. Okay, before Mrs. Francis, we have Mrs. Francis, I'm sorry, we have Mrs. Kings. We have Mrs. Kings before Mrs. Francis. Okay, let's take the one for Mrs. Kings. We have June 2nd, we have July, this is 2nd, August 2nd, wow. September 1st. September 1st was September 1st. Okay, it was on Friday. Okay, if she has 5 days flow, it means her menses will stop in today. Yeah. So she may still be on her menses. So if you have your menses, if you have the same style of menses, your menstrual flow, if this is your style from June, July into September, it is going to be just the same. So we're going to have your ovulation day come on this day that Mrs. Kings will be ovulating. So all the Mrs. Kings out there, let's get to know when you'll be ovulating and possibly get pregnant. Okay. So firstly, we're going to look at Mrs. King's menstrual cycle length, right? So we are looking at her menstrual cycle length, and we're going to get one from here, we'll get another year, we'll get another year. Okay, so we are looking at menstrual cycle length. And to do that, we're going to look at the duration, the interval it took Mrs. Kings to have her menses come on this date. So we begin with June 2nd into July 2nd. Come with me. All you need to do firstly is to go into your calendar to look at these dates. Okay, so now we are going to take it from June 2nd. June 2nd was on a Friday into July 2nd. So this is 2nd to 9th of June. That will give us 14 days. Okay. 7, 14, 21, 28, 29, 30. So that simply means it took her 30 days to have these menses. Okay, did you get that? Right? So now we're going to be looking at we're going to be looking at the next date for her. So that will be July 2nd into August 2nd. Okay, so July, look at your calendar, so you be very accurate. July 2nd. Okay, that will be 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 28. 14, 21, 28, 29, 30, 31. Okay. Okay, let me see. Let me just see. Let me check something. 1, 2, 3, 4. 28, 29, 30. Okay. I'm wondering why one is 31, one is 30. Okay, that's because of the number of days. Okay, so this is 31 days. You see that? 31 days. So for this, it took her 31 days to have her menses. July 2nd into August 28, 29, 30, 31. Okay, so from August 2nd into September 1st, let's look at how many days did it take Mrs. Kings and all the Mrs. Kings out there that are the same days. Okay, so August 2nd into September 1st. This is 7, 14, 21, 28, 29, 30. Okay, so now it took 30 days. It took her 30 days to have a menses come out. Okay, so now the MCL, which is our menstrual cycle length, will be 30 days, 31 days, and another 30 days. So these are our menstrual cycle lengths. So next thing we're going to be doing here is to look at our average menstrual cycle length. And I always tell you that this is the best method, this is the best approach to get to know or to calculate your ovulation day, because this approach is very accurate, and irrespective of how you have having your menses come every month, you can still calculate your ovulation day using this approach. Okay, so now the AMCL will be equals to 30 days plus 31 plus 30, right? Of course, we are looking at the average, and this will be over 3. So now let's look at our calculator. Go into your calculator. I know you can just say 30 plus 31 plus 30. No, let's still use our calculator so that you are very, very sure. So you have 30, 31, and 30. That will give us 91 days. 91 over 3. So then what will this give us? We're going to have an average menstrual cycle length of 30 days. You're definitely going to come up with a day. You come up with an accurate day to say, okay, this is my average menstrual cycle length. So instead of complaining, my menses is not there's a word I don't want to use. It's not normal. You know, women will say it's not normal. My menses is not normal. I don't like using that word, not normal. You can say not regular instead. What's not normal? Even with the number of days, if you're measuring this way, you're still going to be able to come to an accurate date to say, okay, this is my average menstrual cycle length, and this is just what is that. This is just what is the most important thing here, and not irrespective of the number of days you're having your menses come. As long as you can calculate your average menstrual cycle length, you will still be able to get what you want to get. Okay, so now we have 30 days. The next thing we are going to now look at is the ovulation. We need to know when this pretty lady will be ovulating. So to get that, we're going to use 14 days baseline to just say 30 minus 14 minus 14 days. I know you know that. You're just going to say 16, but use a calculator. Let's be double sure. Let's just be very, very sure. Because if you miss one day, it simply means that you've missed your ovulation day. So let's just use our calculator and say 30 minus 14, then we have 16. We have 16, so it means 16 days into our next cycle. What will this day be? So let's see what this day will be for her. Ovulation day will be, let's see what this day will be for her. So we're going to go back to our calculator, to our calendar. Our last menses was on the 1st. Ooh, okay, her last menses was on the 1st, so we're going to look at when this pretty lady will be ovulating. Okay, so first into first, this is 7, 14, 15, 16. 16. So Mrs. Kings will be ovulating on September 17th. Oh, all the calculations we did today. Okay, no. The other one wasn't 17. Okay. So Mrs. Kings will be ovulating on September 17th. Is on a Tuesday. Wow! Congratulations to you, Mrs. Kings, and all the Mrs. Kings out there who had. It's not like because your name is Mrs. Kings, you will be ovulating on this day. No. You must have had your menses come just the same pattern she had her menses. So for everyone who must have had, whether your name is not Mrs. King, but for this purpose, your name has become Mrs. Kings. If you've had your menses, you've had it in this pattern, it means that you'll be ovulating on Tuesday, 17th September. So congratulations to Mrs. King. Congratulations to all the Mrs. Kings out there. You'll be ovulating on this day. And what do you do with this day is to simply have sex and have sex and have sex. Wow, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you because more sex is equal to increased chances of getting pregnant. Wow. And if you are trying to conceive, it's easier for you to achieve conception when you support your fertility. So support your fertility simply means that you should be taking fertility enhancing blends that will enhance your overall fertility and support you to get pregnant naturally. If you are not doing that, it simply means that you are lengthening the number of days, weeks, months, or years that you are going to try to conceive. So shortening this number of days, weeks, months, or years, you need to support your fertility. Yes, and that means you should be taking fertility enhancing blends beautifully on our website, fertility24.com. You're going to have amazing fertility blends, potent fertility enhancing blends that will help you to achieve your fertility goals. Thank you so much for joining me on this series today. And on our next series, we are going to be announcing it on our page, our Facebook page, for you to know when I'll be coming live to help calculate your ovulation day. Thank you so very much. Thank you. And keep sending in your menstrual cycles. Keep sending it in. Send them in. I said you just need 4 months, 4 menstrual cycles for us to be able to track when you will be ovulating. Thank you once again for joining me. Thank you. God bless you. Bye.
We touch, we break, make it seem like we feel the same. We love what we hate. But we fell apart just